All right, so here's going to be a video that's going to show the next step after you do your first two layers on your Megaminx. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of focus on everything, but actually there's about three more phases. This will be I guess what I would consider almost like phase three. So like getting the cross, the star, that would be phase one. Then your F2L would be phase two. Now this is going to be the third step. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on these faces right here. Yours may have a couple different colors than mine. I switched out an off yellow for the black just so I didn't get it confused with the yellow. So what I'm really looking for, I mean, you can pick, unless you're doing like a speed run. It doesn't really matter which one you start with. Like if I were trying to like get a good time, I would look at maybe the placement of some of these and see which one would be easier. I'm not that good, so a lot of times I'll just pick one side that I want to kind of work with, maybe one that already has it. So here's what we're going to do. Let me tell you, we're going to focus on the middle piece, and then we're going to try to find an edge that's going to either go down to this face or an edge that goes down to this face. So let's just say I want to do orange, okay? Then that means that I need to find an orange edge that has orange and purple or orange and yellow, all right? And I'm just gonna look around. Okay, there's my orange and yellow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to get it over to the orange so that it is oriented correctly. So for instance, if it's up here, like that's not how we want it. So with the Megaminx, what's cool is since it has a lot of faces, you can pretty much get things facing the way you need it to with just like two moves, and you probably won't mess anything up. Now, since this is our first face that we're looking at, we're not going to mess anything up by moving any of these. But once we start putting some pieces together, we are going to need to be mindful to put things back, and I'll show you what I mean. But luckily, everything that we do is not going to mess up anything that we've already done, as long as you don't mess with turning it this way. You're just going to turn things with these faces right here. Okay, so let's say that I've got my yellow and my orange, and I want to get it, I want it to match with the orange, because I need to get it down here. What I'm going to do is you can turn it either way. You can do a U prime or just a U. And then, so let's say I'm going to do a U prime, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an R prime, and I'm going to move it down, and that matches it with my orange. Now that's going to be helpful even when you're doing your beginner's cross. Understanding how these faces work together and how you can quickly get a piece on the right side can be helpful, because it can be frustrating and intimidating looking at this, but you're really only two moves away from always having it where you need it. So that's the first step, is getting one edge piece. That's all you need to think about. And you can go ahead and you can orient it just to make sure that you're good with that, okay? So you're not gonna worry about this one, you're not gonna worry about this one, and it can either be this one or this one. So I've chosen to go this route. Now, a lot of this is going to be intuitive to me. I'm going to show you how to do it as opposed to giving algorithms and moves. So I want you to hopefully find this useful, but I've just kind of figured this part out by piecing together YouTube videos and kind of figuring it out for myself. So I'm just going to show you what I've gathered. Now, this is called the V. So what we're kind of gonna do is well, I think it's called the V. We're going to make all of these pieces oriented right here. So we're gonna do the two edge pieces and then this middle corner one. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna leave these kind of parts unsolved, but this part down at the bottom should be solved. So the reason why you need to do F2L is because we are going to pair these two when we, and then insert them. So we're gonna kind of we need to get three pieces. We're gonna do one by itself, which is what we just did. And now what we need to do is we need to pair up these two and then we're going to insert them. So I'm looking for now this is kind of, if you've never done anything besides the 3x3, we're going to venture away from the white for a second. So we're almost going to have like a new white. So what we're going to be looking for is orange, purple, yellow corner piece, and then an orange and purple edge piece. So we'll just kind of see which one I see first. All right. I don't see any right there. Okay, cool. Right here. Orange, purple, yellow. Cool. So since I haven't done anything, I'm not going to worry about messing anything up. I just need to get this to the top. And it is oriented correctly, so that's good. Now let's say, what if it made it up like this? That's the piece that you want, but it's not facing the correct direction. So what you would want to do is, like I said, luckily you're only about 1 or 2 moves away from doing it correctly. So you would, let's say you're like, man, I need to get that orange, but I need it here, but I need it facing this way. You can simply turn it down, bring it down so you have the orange, bring it back up, and then move it out of the way, and then fix what piece you already have. And then you can just move this back over. Because anything you do up here, remember, if you saw my last video, this is kind of where you can play. You can work up here and not mess anything up. Okay, so I've got my orange facing the right way, yellow and purple, so that's good, and that's what we want. Now I need to get that orange and purple piece. So I saw it floating around down here. Now I need to move this up here. So what I need to do is I need to get this one out of the way because I don't want to mess up my orientation. So you can just move it, do a U2 or 2 prime. And I'm going to move this up, okay? But I noticed that if I simply move it over, my orientation's not correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, so what, it was right here. I'm just going to move it right here. And then now that's lined up correctly. And this is a lot of steps. So again, this isn't really like a speedway, but this is just kind of it works for me. It's a good beginner move. I'm going to move it up, but now I've got to almost like fix my cross, so to speak. So that I got to get that orange and yellow one back. So I'm just going to move this out of the way, kind of play peekaboo, and then I'm going to slide that back down. Okay. So now I have up top here in my workspace, in my play area, I have the purple and orange, and I have my piece right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to see if I can pair them like an F2L pairing. So in this case, my white will be the yellow. And you can always figure that out because your new white will be whatever color is missing from the edge piece. So I'm going to treat the yellow as if it were, I was doing like a 3x3. And I'm going to use those F2L pairings that we went over in that last video. So I noticed that my white or my yellow is on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you a neat little trick with that F2L pairing. So I kind of told you that you can just kind of move it over and then slide it over and see if it matches. Well, I'm going to teach, there's one way that you can always figure out what way to turn it. This works with the 3x3 as well. So with this one, we can actually match it with the correct face. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the color of the edge, purple and purple. And if you actually turn this thing away from the other side, the other color. So if I turn this away from the purple, so I'm going to do an F. And see how I turned it away from the purple? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring over my corner. And look how that matched up perfectly. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix my cross, so to speak. So I'm going to turn that. And then now I have this edge piece in the correct place still. And I have this awesome F2L pairing that is just ready to go down here. So I think what this move is like the sledgehammer. So we can't just, I know kind of what I want to do is I want to just like place it by doing the sexy move. But what I'm going to do, that's not going to do anything. That would place it if it going vertical. But what we need to get it down here. So what I like to do is I like to just do, I think this is called the sledgehammer move. So what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna, since it needs to go on this side, I'm going to move it in that same direction. Okay, so it needs to go on the left. I would call this like the left side of the face. So I'm gonna actually move this over to the left. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the facing up. So I guess it's like an F2. And then this is where it kind of gets a little intuitive, because if you check it out, if I slide this back over, so if I do a U prime, that brings that, look at this, this is like a 3, like an F2L, but with 3. And then what we do is we simply just bring that down. And then that is set. And let me show you how to do it real quick from the other side. So let me see if I can do that real quick. Let's flip it. So that one's good. So now what we'll do is we would move on to, like, I would just go in this order. So the green. So I'm gonna try to find a green yellow or a green blue. So, and it's weird because my green, you know, you have a couple different types of greens. Okay, here's my green blue. So again, I haven't messed with this. Oops, I haven't messed with this one, so I don't really have to worry about, you know, messing it up. So this one looks like the right kind of green and blue. So I'm gonna slide it over, and I guess I could have just gone this way, huh? Okay, so there we go. So that matches. And actually, I don't want to do that one because I want to show you from the other side. So I want to find green and yellow. Okay, here we go, right here. Now again, I haven't done anything here, so I can move this all that I want, and it's not going to mess anything up. So let me put the yellow at the top and slide it over to the green. Well, that's not going to work because the green's not, it's not the same, you know, it's not oriented correctly. So again, you're just about 2 moves away from always getting it how you need it. So I'm going to do that. Bring it up, and I don't really have to fix anything, so I can just place this where it needs to go. And again, all I did was orient that correctly. Okay, so now I'm looking for green, yellow, blue, and then green and blue. Green, yellow, blue. Okay, here's green, yellow, blue. So sometimes I just like to bring it over so I can look at it. And then I'm looking for green and blue, which is right here. Okay, so I know for my F2L pairing that I have, so the yellow is going to be my white. So I have same orientation, blue on the top, green on the bottom, blue on the top, green on the bottom. So I know that what I'm going to need to do is to not face the yellow, not face the white. So I have the green in front of me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide my corner piece, and I'm going to bring the edge piece next to it. So all I have to do is bring that up. And bam, I got this nice F2L pairing, just like that. And if I move it over, look, this is ready to go, ready to be placed right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the sledgehammer again, but I'm gonna go the other direction. So since I need to put it on the right side, I'm going to turn this, in the yellow or the white is always facing the way that you wanna turn it. So I'm gonna do a U prime, and then I'm going to do an F prime, but twice, 2F prime. Then, check this out, I'm just gonna slide, do a U, and that's gonna match up right there, and then I just orient it. So I do a 2F, and bam, that's right there. So look, it kind of is like a V. So your goal is to get these 3 pieces, do one of the edge pieces by themselves, and then find the other and do an F2L pairing. And I will show you what to do with these next. That'll be a shorter video.